So starting with the first category in Simplify Radicals Day 1, we have Simplifying Radicals Guided. So it's a guided practice. Once it loads, I will get started. Okay, cool. So I'm going to screenshot this first because I just want to have a place to write, but I don't think I'll need to write that much today. So we're going to go step by step to reduce this radical. And so you can see that it's inside a square root. So we're going to find out what perfect squares fit into 224. So you might know the biggest perfect root that fits, or biggest perfect square that fits into it automatically, but maybe you don't, and that's okay. It will let you try it in multiple steps anyways. So if you guys don't know what a perfect square is, let me remind you what perfect squares are. So those are numbers like, I'll write it over here, 2 squared. So one of the perfect squares is 4, and then 3 squared. Another perfect square is 9. 4 squared. Another perfect square is 16, and so on and so forth. So let me just write out like another 5 squared is 25. 6 squared is 36. Okay, so here are some perfect squares. Now let me write 7 squared is 49. So you're going to try to take a look to see if any of these numbers fits inside the number 224. So is 224 divisible by 4? Let's try it out. 224 divided by 4. And then, of course, if you like, you can use a calculator. 224 divided by 4. And I got 56. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to write 4 in here and 56 in here because the square root of 224 can be rewritten as the square root of 4 times 56. I'm going to pause here and see if you guys have any questions. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter 4 and 56 into there. 4 and 56. Try. Okay, so it worked. We just need to simplify what is the square root of 4. So then the second one, we're just going to leave 56 in the radical. But for that first box, the square root of 4 is 2. So I'm going to write 2 in there. Notice there's no radical over the box that I'm currently typing in. So we're trying to simplify the square root of 4 without the radical anymore. So we're using up the radical and saying the square root of 4 is 2. So I'm replacing it with 2. Are there any questions on this step? All right, let's try. All right, and then we have 2 times 2 radicals. So that means the square root of 56 can be simplified again. So let's do that. So I'm going to screenshot it just so I can write. So what can fit into 56? What perfect squares fit into 56? Will it be 2 squared? Will it be 3 squared? Will it be 4 squared? Let's figure it out. So 2 squared is 4. And let's see if 56 is divisible by 4. So if you try this out, 56 divided by 4 is 14. And so I'm going to have in here 4 and 14 because 4 times 14 is 56. So let's go ahead and enter that in. Save the photos. 4 and 14. Try. Okay, so one of the radicals disappeared in this first box. So that means this first box that it won't let me click. Come on. Oh, okay. So in that first box, they want us to simplify the square root of 4. So that's going to be 2. And then square root of 14 stays as it is. Sorry for zooming in. I was just trying to make it let me type. So we have 2 times 2 times the square root of 14. I'm going to press try. And then, okay, so there's one box in the beginning now. So what that means is we need to combine 2 times 2. Oh my. Okay, there we go. So 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm going to put a 4 in that box. And then the radical remains unchanged for now as 14. And then I'll press try. And it says, you are done. You may press submit. So I'm going to submit answer. But before I do, are there any questions on this entire process? Okay, so submit. Next problem. Oh, did I just Oh, okay, no, it's fine. I thought I accidentally skipped one. Anyways, go step by step to reduce the radical. Okay, so we can figure out what perfect squares fit into this one. So we can try numbers like 2 squared, which is 4. We can try numbers like 3 squared, which is 9. We can try numbers like 4 squared, which is 16. We can try a number like 5 squared, which is 25. And then we just, I don't know, what number do you guys want to try? Which one do you think will fit into 180? You can just type it in the chat. Which one do you think I should try out of these? Or 36 or something like that. All right, 9. Okay, I saw 9 first, so let's try 9. Let's see if 9 fits into 180. Okay, so 180 divided by 9 gives us 20. Okay, that works. So I'm gonna put 9 in the front. I just like putting the smaller one in the front. And then 20 in the back. So let's go ahead and try that. So your selection of 9 worked. We are going to get 9 times 20 equals 180. So let's go ahead and enter that in. Ah, that's not what I wanted. There we go. 9 and 20. Try. Okay, so it worked. And so as you can see, the first box now no longer has a radical in it, which means they want us to do the square root of 9. So the square root of 9 is 3, because 3 squared is 9. So square root of 9 would be 3. And then the second box, you keep it as the 20. I'm going to press try. Okay, cool. So it looks like the square root of 20 can be simplified again. So I'm going to screenshot this so that I can write stuff. And now we need to figure out what other perfect squares can fit into our new radical, which is 20, because it still needs to be simplified. So we can try 2 squared, which is 4. We can try 3 squared, which is 9. We can try 4 squared, which is 16. We can try 5 squared, which is 25. Well, I mean, you can't really try 5 squared because 25 definitely cannot fit into 20 since 25 is bigger. So 4, 9, and 16, which one should I try? Which fits into 20? Just type it in the chat. 4, 9, or 16, what should I put? What should I try? 4, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna try 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. Okay, so it does work. So for the 20 and the 4, I'm gonna put the, for the 4 and the 5, I'm gonna put the 4 first and the 5 next. I just like putting the smaller number in the front. So we have square root of 4 and square root of 5. And I'm gonna go type that in. So 4 times 5 is 20. Wow, why is it not, what? Okay, there we go. 4 times 5, 5, try. Okay, cool. So it worked. It's just that now we need to get rid of the radical in the 4. So square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 5 is just 5. Anyway, square root of 5 is just square root of 5. It stays in the radical. So we have 3 times 2 times square root of 5. And then finally, we just need to simplify what is 3 times 2. So those two regular numbers outside of the radical, we just need to multiply them. 3 times 2 is 6. And the 5 stays in the radical. Try. You are done. You may press submit. Submit. Yes. Okay. So, let me see. I'm going to pause here. So that was it for this section, and then let's go to the next section. So I'm going to stop.